I ran into her getting harassed by some creep while I was on a delivery. I helped her out, just doing the right thing, and somehow I ended up with a stalker. She said, "You touched me. Now you have to see this through to the end." I couldn't even pronounce her name. Next thing I knew, she had me hauled off to her mansion. From now on, she said, "You belong to me." Is this chick out of her mind? The rain was coming down hard that night. I was rushing to finish my last DoorDash delivery. The address was in the Palisades, that ritzy, gated community on the west side of town. Halfway there, I saw a flash of white in the downpour. It was a woman, no umbrella, soaked to the bone. Some guy had her by the arm. Normally, I mind my own business. But then the woman yelled, "Let go!" Her voice was sharp, with a fierce edge to it. I squeezed my brakes. It was only when I stopped that I saw the guy was bad news. His eyes were bloodshot, and he was clutching a pocket knife. He had her pinned against a wall, her hair plastered across her face. I pulled out my phone and held it up. "Hey, man, I already called 911. The guy whipped his head around, glared at me, and pointed the knife. "Get lost." I didn't. I just lifted my thermal delivery bag. This thing's full. It had hurt like hell if I swung it. Maybe he took one look at my size, because he muttered a curse and took off. The woman was left leaning against the wall, catching her breath. I walked over to ask if she was okay. She suddenly grabbed my wrist. Her nails dug into my skin. "You touched me." The rain was so loud, I didn't catch it. "What?" She looked up, her face ghostly pale, but her eyes were burning bright. "You touched me. Now you're responsible." I almost laughed. I pulled my hand back. "Lady, I was just breaking up a fight." She stared at me, enunciating every word. "My name is Sabrina Thorne." Sabrina Thorne. Got it. I didn't get it. By the time I finished that delivery, it was almost 1 in the morning. I went back to my rental and crashed. The next day, I opened my door to go out for my shift and found 2 guys standing there. Black suits, sunglasses, posture like statues. "Mr. Hayes, our employer would like to see you." I figured it was a scam and tried to shut the door. One of them blocked it with his foot. "Ms. Sabrina Thorne wants to see you." It took me a second to place the name. "Not interested. I've got deliveries to make." The taller one gave a slight smile. "We will compensate you for your lost wages. 10 times over." In the back of the black SUV, I tried to figure it out. Who the hell was this Sabrina Thorne? I knew the Palisades was for the ultra-rich, but people like that didn't cross paths with a delivery guy like me. The car pulled up to a massive, modern-style mansion, and there she was, standing at the door. Sabrina. Today she was wearing a black dress that made her skin look even paler. "Come in." I didn't move. "Look, Miss Thorne, I was just trying to help." She turned, her gaze icy. "I ran a background check on you. Ethan Hayes, 25. You've been a delivery driver for 3 years. You're from a small town in Indiana. Your parents are farmers. You have a younger sister in college." A chill went down my spine. "You investigated me." She took 2 steps closer until she was right in my space. "You touched me last night." "Here," she said, her voice low. "That's not something you get to do for free." She led me into a study. There was a contract sitting on the desk. "Sign it." I picked it up. It was a personal assistant contract. Salary, $15,000 a month, plus room and board. Job description, be available at her beck and call. I put the contract down. "I'm not signing this." She raised an eyebrow. "Not enough." "It's not about the money." "Then what is it?" I couldn't explain it. There was just something deeply wrong about this woman. She walked around behind me, her fingers resting on my shoulder. "Are you afraid of me?" I shrugged her hand off. "Miss Thorne, we're from different worlds." She smiled. It was a beautiful smile, and also terrifying. "Not anymore." I signed it. My sister called saying she was short on tuition. My dad needed money for a hospital stay. Sabrina transferred $20,000 to my account on the spot. A signing bonus, she called it. I stared at the direct deposit notification on my phone, my hand trembling slightly. She leaned in close to my ear, her breath warm. "Remember, you're my property now." I moved into the guest room of her mansion that same day. She gave me a list of over a dozen rules. Never ignore her calls. Never stay out all night. Never get too close to another woman. Each rule came with a massive penalty clause for breaking it. As she read them off one by one, I suddenly asked, "Sabrina, are you crazy?" She paused, then a huge, genuine smile spread across her face. "I am, and you're my cure." The first few days were almost normal. I followed her when she went out, carrying her bags and opening car doors. I waited outside while she was in board meetings. Sometimes she'd crave something in the middle of the night, and I'd drive all over the city to find it. Until the night she got drunk. I was helping her to her room when she suddenly threw her arms around my neck. "Ethan, do you like me?" The smell of alcohol mixed with her perfume filled my senses. I turned my head away. "You're drunk." She stubbornly forced my face back to hers. "Answer me." "No." Her eyes darkened for a moment, then lit up again. "That's okay. I'll make you like me." Then she kissed me. I shoved her away. "Sabrina." She fell back on the bed, looking up at me. "You signed a contract. You can't back out." After that night, I started avoiding her. But she always found me. I'd be on the balcony having a cigarette, and she'd appear without a sound. "You should smoke less. It's bad for you." I frowned. "You're overstepping." She took the cigarette from my hand and stubbed it out. "I'm going to overstep." "What gives you the right?" "The fact that I bought you." Her words stung. "I'm not a piece of property." She tilted her head, her expression both innocent and cruel. "But you signed the deed, didn't you?" Then I realized she was following me. On my days off, she would just happen to show up wherever I was. I'd be having dinner with friends, and she'd be sitting at the next table. I went to the hospital to visit my dad, and she was standing at the end of the hall. I finally couldn't take it anymore and confronted her. She was painting her nails, not even looking up. "I was worried about you. This is sick. It's stalking." She put down the nail polish and looked at me. "Ethan, do you have any idea what it's like for me to look at you? It's like finding an oasis in the middle of a desert." "That doesn't give you the right to what?" She stood, closing the distance between us. "To like you too much." I backed away until my back hit the wall. This is a control issue." She reached out and touched my cheek, her fingertips ice cold. "Is there a difference?" The worst was when my sister came to visit. Sabrina invited her into the mansion. When I got home, my sister was sitting in the living room, her face pale. "Ethan, this woman says you two are dating." I glared at Sabrina. She smiled, the picture of innocence. "That's right. We're in a relationship." After my sister left, I threw a glass against the wall. "What the hell is your game?" She looked at the shattered pieces on the floor, her expression unchanged. "To make sure everyone in your life knows that you belong to me." "And then what?" "Lock me in a cage." Her eyes lit up. "Is that what you want?" I was so angry I just turned and walked away. She called after me. "Ethan, you can't escape." I tried to quit after that. I transferred the $20,000 back to her account. She didn't accept it. The next day, the money was back in my account with a message attached. "Breach of contract penalty is $1 million. I went to a lawyer. He took one look at the contract and shook his head. "The terms are predatory, but your signature makes it legally binding." That night, I got blackout drunk. I woke up in the guest room at her house. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, dabbing at a cut on my face. "How'd you get this?" I slapped her hand away. "Don't touch me." She stubbornly reached out again. "I'm going to touch you." "Sabrina, what do you even want from me?" She froze, then looked at me for a long time. "For you to be alive." She came down with a fever one day, 103 degrees. I stayed with her all night. In her delirium, she gripped my hand and wouldn't let go. "Don't leave." As I changed the cool cloth on her forehead, I heard her mumble, "Everyone leaves." "But you didn't." When she woke up at dawn, she saw me still sitting there and stared. "You didn't leave?" "I was worried you'd die, and I wouldn't get paid." She smiled, her face still flushed. "Ethan, you have a soft heart." I stood up to leave, but she grabbed the hem of my shirt. "Help me take my medicine." "Take it yourself. It's bitter." Seeing her so weak for once, I caved and got her a glass of water. After she swallowed the pills, she said suddenly, "I had a cat once. It ran away, and so I found it and locked it in the house." A chill went down my spine. "Why are you telling me this?" She looked up at me, her eyes glistening. "Why do you think?" 11. After she recovered, she dragged me to a black-tie gala. She insisted I wear a tuxedo. When I refused, she tied the bow tie for me herself. Her fingers brushed against my throat, intentionally or not. "Nervous?" "No." She finished the tie, but didn't let go, using it to pull me closer. "Behave tonight. Don't embarrass me." The party was full of trust fund types and corporate sharks. They looked at me like I was a zoo animal. Some guy came over to talk to Sabrina, his hand starting to slide around her waist. On pure instinct, I blocked his arm. The guy was not happy. Who the hell are you? Sabrina looped her arm through mine. He's my boyfriend. After the guy walked away, I tried to pull my arm back. She pinched me. Keep up the act, or I'm docking your pay. 12. She was silent on the drive home. Just as we were pulling up to the house, she spoke. Why did you block him back there? It's my job. Just your job. What else would it be? She leaned in, her nose almost touching mine. Ethan, you're lying. I'm not. Your heart is pounding. Her finger tapped my chest. Right here. It's beating faster for me. I wanted to argue, but I couldn't open my mouth. Because she kissed me. And this time, I didn't push her away. 13. Everything after that was a blur. From the car to the bedroom. She wrapped around me like a vine, whispering my name over and over. Ethan, Ethan. When I answered, she bit my shoulder. You're mine. At dawn, I looked at the scratch marks on my body, feeling dazed. She was tracing circles on my chest. Now you've really touched me. I sat up and started getting dressed. Let's just call it a one-night stand. Her face went cold instantly. What did you say? We both got what we wanted. She grabbed a pillow and threw it at me. You asshole, Ethan. I caught it, looking at her reddened eyes. Sabrina, this is wrong. What's wrong about it? You're not well. I can't let myself get dragged into your sickness. 14. We didn't speak for days. A Cold War. She reassigned me to be just her driver, her face a constant mask of ice. One night, she had a work dinner and got completely wasted. As I helped her out of the car, she suddenly threw up. Afterward, she just leaned against me and cried. I had never seen her cry before. They all abandoned me. Who? My parents, my friends, and you. My chest felt tight. I want you, but not like this. She looked up, her eyes blurry with tears. Then how? I didn't answer. I just picked her up and carried her inside. She wrapped her arms around my neck and whispered, Ethan, I don't know how to love anyone. Can you teach me? 15. I took 3 days off to go back home. I didn't tell her why. The truth was, my dad's condition had gotten worse. He needed surgery. When I got to the hospital, I found out there was an extra $100,000 in my account. The nurse said Ms. Thorne had wired it. I called her. What is this? Employee family benefits. I can't take this money. Then I'll deduct it from your salary. It'll only take you about 100 years to pay it off. I gripped the phone, a lump in my throat. Sabrina. Yes. Thank you. There was a long silence on her end. Ethan, that's the first time you've ever said my name like you meant it. 16. The day my dad's surgery was a success, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. I walked out of the hospital and saw her car parked out front. She got out and handed me a cigarette. To celebrate? I took it, but didn't light it. What are you doing here? Came to see your dad. Did you? Yep. He looks a lot like you. I froze. You went inside? We talked for a bit. I got nervous. What did you talk about? She tilted her head and smiled. I told him how you've been slaving away for me. 17. She was unusually quiet on the drive back. While we were stopped at a red light, she asked, Your dad said you wanted to save up and open your own auto repair shop? My grip on the steering wheel tightened. I used to, and now I'm buried in debt to you. What's the point of thinking about it? She rolled down the window, and the wind rushed in. Ethan, if I let you go right now, would you leave? I didn't hesitate. No. Why not? I haven't paid you back. She smiled, but then her face hardened again. You'll leave me one day. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. 18. Later, she took me to meet her grandfather. The old man was in a wheelchair, his eyes sharp as a hawk's. So, this is the boy you've taken a liking to? Sabrina stood next to me, her hand secretly clenching the hem of my jacket. Yes. What does he do? He's with me. The old man sized me up for a long moment, then laughed. Better than your father. At least this one isn't a phony. After we left, I asked her what that was all about. She said it nonchalantly. My mother ran off with another man. My father had a complete breakdown. He's in a psychiatric hospital now. I stopped walking. You never told me that. She turned back to look at me, her expression calm. Now you know. Are you going to run? 19. That night she had a nightmare and woke up screaming. I rushed into her room and found her huddled in a corner. Bad dream. She threw herself into my arms, shaking all over. I dreamed that you left. I pat her back. I'm not leaving. Prove it. Ow. She looked up at me, her eyes shining in the dark. Tell me you'll never leave. I was silent. The light in her eyes slowly faded. Never mind. I held her tighter. Sabrina, I need time. How much time? Until you believe me. 20. One day, her executive assistant came to me and said Ms. Thorne had been having stomach problems. She asked me to get her to eat on schedule. I went to her office and heard her yelling inside. You can't even handle something this simple. The door opened, and a few executives shuffled out, looking defeated. I went in and saw her pressing on her stomach, her face pale. Get out. I put the takeout on her desk. Eat first. I said, get out. I didn't move. She grabbed a binder and threw it at me. As papers scattered through the air, I suddenly remembered what my lawyer had said. Ms. Thorne has severe trust and abandonment issues. I bent down to pick up the papers. Sabrina, you're going to work yourself to death. She sneered. Wouldn't that be great? Then you'd finally be free. I walked over to her and put my hands on her shoulders. Listen to me. If you're going to die, you'd better do it after you pay me back. She stared at me, confused. What money? That $100,000 you sent for my dad's surgery. I'm considering it a loan. Her eyes slowly widened. You. So you'd better stay alive. Long enough for me to save up and pay you back. 21. After that, she obediently took her medicine and ate. I sat on the sofa, watching her. She suddenly asked, Ethan, if I didn't have any money, would you still be here? No. Her spoon clattered against the bowl. I added, if you didn't have any money, I would have convinced you to run away with me a long time ago. Her ears slowly turned red. What? What are you talking about? The truth. She looked down and kept eating her soup, but the corners of her mouth turned up. You could still run away with me now. Not yet. I have to cure you first. She looked up. Cure me of what? Your love deficiency. 22. On her birthday, I used my savings to buy her a necklace. It wasn't expensive, just a couple $1,000. She held the box and stared at it for a long time. This is the first time someone's given me a birthday present. I was surprised. Never. They usually just wire money. I helped her put it on. Do you like it? She touched the pendant, then suddenly unclasped the necklace and threw it out the window. You. I was stunned. She looked at me, her gaze stubborn. Go get it. Sabrina, go get it. I turned and ran downstairs, fumbling through the bushes in the garden for what felt like an eternity. When I found the necklace, I saw the chain was broken. I looked up and saw her standing right behind me. It's broken. Yeah. Can it be fixed? Probably not. She took the necklace from me and closed her fist around it. Then I'll keep it. I want it even if it's broken. In the middle of the night, she snuck into my room and shook me awake. Ethan, I found out. Found out what? You had a girlfriend in college. She moved abroad. I was wide awake now. Why were you digging into that? Why did she leave you? I lay back down. We weren't a good fit. How so? She was a normal person. She was quiet for a moment. Then she lay down next to me. What about me? You're not a normal person, either. She snuggled closer, her forehead resting against my shoulder. Then I guess we're a perfect match. The craziest she ever got was when she had to go to Vegas for a business deal. She insisted I come with her. At the casino, the other company's CEO kept pushing drinks on her. I stepped in and took a few for her, which seemed to amuse the guy. Ms. Thorne, your assistant is very protective. Sabrina smiled and looped her arm through mine. He's my man. Of course he protects me. The CEO's gaze turned slimy. I hear this is the new trend back on the mainland. Sabrina's expression turned to ice. What trend? You know, the boy toy thing. Sabrina grabbed her glass and threw the drink in his face. He's my man. Say one more word and see what happens. I was silent the entire way back to the hotel. She cautiously reached out and touched my fingers. Are you mad? No. Then why aren't you talking? I looked at her. Sabrina, we didn't have to do that. Do what? Defend me like that. She melted into my arms. But I wanted to. Later, we made love on the hotel balcony, the glittering lights of the Vegas Strip below us. She whimpered, biting my shoulder. Ethan, yeah. What if one day I go broke? I'll support you. She stopped moving and looked up at me. Are you serious? Yeah. Her eyes turned red. But you're a delivery driver. How much could you make? Enough to feed and clothe you. She wrapped her arms tighter around my neck. But I want to eat the best food and wear designer clothes. In your dreams. She laughed, and then the laughter turned to tears. Ethan, don't you dare lie to me. I didn't say anything. I just held her close. The distant city hummed below us. She reached up in the dark and touched my face. I know, that you'll leave eventually. Why? Because it's too hard. What's too hard? Loving me. After we got back, she changed. She stopped tracking my every move and didn't restrict me from going out. My sister came to visit again, and Sabrina tried to cook dinner herself. She almost set the kitchen on fire. My sister told me, Ethan, she doesn't seem so scary anymore. That night, I asked Sabrina, what's with the sudden urge to cook? She was curled up against me, watching TV. I want you to eat more of my cooking, and then you won't be able to leave me. I leaned down and kissed the top of her head. You're an idiot. She looked up at me. Ethan, I'm trying to change. Change what? Change into someone you can love. But it was never going to be that simple. Her uncle showed up and offered me $5 million to leave Sabrina. I refused. When Sabrina came home that night, her eyes were red and swollen. My uncle came to see you. Yeah. What did you say? I said no. She breathed a sigh of relief, then tensed up again. He'll find other ways. Like what? Like telling my father. I frowned. I thought your dad was. He's being discharged next month. We went to the psychiatric hospital to pick up her father. The man looked perfectly lucid, with the same intense eyes as Sabrina. He stared at me for a long time. You're Ethan? Yes. The delivery guy. I was. He nodded, then turned to Sabrina. Better than the one your mother found. The atmosphere in the car on the way back was tense. She said suddenly, Ethan, you can still get out of this. What? Now that my dad's back, things at home are going to get even messier. I took her hand. Let them. Her fingers were cold. Something bad could happen. She turned to look at me. Is it worth it? You are. And something bad did happen. Her father teamed up with a few shareholders to try and oust her from the company. She worked around the clock, getting visibly thinner each day. One night, I brought her a late dinner at the office and found her asleep at her desk. Her computer was still on, displaying a stock transfer agreement. I carried her to the break room. She woke with a start, grabbing my shirt. Ethan, get some sleep. She leaned against my chest and whispered, they're trying to take what my mom left for me. They won't get it. Why not? Because I'm here. During the most heated board meeting, I burst in. Her uncle pointed at me, shouting, who let this outsider in? Sabrina's face was pale, but she stood tall. He's my fiancé. The room erupted. I stood there, frozen. Her uncle sneered. Fiancé? Since when? Sabrina walked over and took my hand. Since right now. After we left the room, I asked her, when exactly did you propose? Just now. And did I say yes? She stopped walking, her expression falling. You don't have to. I looked at her exhausted face, leaned in, and kissed her. How much is the dowry? I'll have to pay in installments. You can set the interest rate. Her eyes slowly widened. Let's go. We actually went to look at rings after that. She picked the simplest, plainest band. You can't afford the expensive ones anyway. I slipped it on her finger. I'll get you a bigger one someday. She shook her head. This one is perfect. The sales clerk smiled. You two are a lovely couple. As we left, she kept looking down at the ring. Ethan, do you think we can ever be normal? What's normal? Date and get married like other people. I put my arm around her shoulder. I kind of like the way we are. What's so good about it? It's never boring. But never boring went too far. Her dad had us followed, and he had pictures, tons of them. Some were even taken inside the house. Looking at them made my skin crawl. Sabrina, however, was calm. I told you, he was never really crazy. What do we do now? We get married. What? She looked at me, her gaze serious. If we get married, there's nothing he can do. I was stunned. Sabrina, marriage isn't a weapon. Then what is it? I couldn't find the words. She laughed a little mockingly. See? You don't dare either. We had a huge fight that night. I told her she would never learn how to love normally. She told me I could never give her the security she needed. I slammed the door and left. I sat in a bar until closing time. When I got back, I found her sitting on the front steps, hugging her knees like an abandoned child. Why didn't you go inside? The fingerprint lock changed. I didn't change it. It felt like you did. I pulled her to her feet and realized her hands were freezing. How long have you been out here? Since you left. My chest ached. Sabrina, I can't breathe when you're like this. She leaned into my chest. Then don't push me away. In the end, we both compromised. She started seeing a therapist. I started learning to be more open. One day, her therapist told me privately, Ms. Thorne's attachment is incredibly intense. You have to be patient. I asked how intense. The therapist used the term codependency. She feels that if she's separated from you, she'll cease to exist. Sabrina was quiet on the way home. Just before we got there, she asked, Ethan, if I really am sick, will you still love me? I didn't answer directly. Do you know why my mom named me Ethan? Why? She said I was a man of few words. But I talk a lot to you. She blinked, and a slow smile spread across her face. Yeah. The peace didn't last long. Her ex-fiancé came back. Or rather, the guy she'd had an arranged engagement with as a kid. He cornered me outside her office building. You're Ethan Hayes? Yeah. Leave Sabrina. Name your price. I laughed. Is that the only move you rich guys have? He looked at me with contempt. You're not good enough for her. I didn't argue. She gets to decide that, not you. That night, I told Sabrina about it. She was cutting fruit and paused. Just ignore him. Okay, Ethan. What? You've never asked about my past. I figure you'll tell me when you're ready. But she told me anyway. The guy was from family friends. They grew up together. When her family fell apart, his family immediately broke the engagement. So it wasn't that he didn't want me. It was that I wasn't good enough. I put down my fork. Sabrina, yeah, you are good enough. In what way? I thought for a moment. You look really beautiful when you're cutting fruit. She laughed, and then the laughter turned to tears. Ethan, I wish you had come sooner. I'm here now. But the trouble kept coming. The company's stock plummeted, and her dad used the opportunity to seize power. She went days without sleeping and finally collapsed in the middle of a board meeting. I carried her to the hospital. The doctor said it was exhaustion. When she woke up and saw me, her first words were, the company's gone. As long as you're still here, that's all that matters. She shook her head. That's what my mother left me. I wiped her tears. We'll get it back. Ow, I'll help you. There wasn't much I could actually do. Just make sure she ate and slept, and occasionally offer a stupid idea, like planting a bug in her dad's office. It actually worked. We recorded something. It was about illegal asset transfers. The day she handed the recording to the police, it was raining hard, just like the day we first met. She stood by the window for a long time. Ethan, if I tell you my dad will probably go to prison. He deserves it. She turned to look at me. Am I being too cruel? Being kind to your enemies is being cruel to yourself. It all ended faster than I expected. Her dad was taken in for questioning, and the company was back in her hands. At the victory party that night, she was tipsy, humming a song in my arms. Ethan, let's get married. I didn't say anything. She looked up at me. You don't want to. Are you sure? Marriage is for life. I've never been more sure. But you're only 26. You're 28. Is that old? I looked into her sparkling eyes. Sabrina, I'm not afraid of getting old. I'm afraid you'll regret this. She leaned in closer. Then I'll tell you a secret. What? That night in the rain. I wasn't there by accident. I froze. What do you mean? I've been following you for 3 days. My first reaction was a cold dread. What? Because I liked you. We'd met before. When? Her eyes darted away. I'll tell you later. There was again. Half-truths. I was getting annoyed. Sabrina, either tell me everything or don't say anything at all. She wrapped her arms around my neck. Okay, then a different secret. What? I'm pregnant. I went completely rigid. You're just kidding. She broke into a grin. I wanted to see your reaction. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding, feeling a strange mix of relief and disappointment. Don't joke about things like that. She rested her head on my shoulder. Ethan, let's have a baby. Why? Then you'll never be able to run away. I couldn't sleep that night. I was on the balcony, chain smoking. She came out in her pajamas and hugged me from behind. Regretting it? No. Then why aren't you sleeping? Thinking about you. Figure anything out? No. She was quiet for a moment. Ethan, I know I'm not cut out for a normal kind of love. Who said that? My therapist. I turned to face her. What does a therapist know? Her eyes were so bright in the moonlight. Then tell me, am I cut out for it? I stubbed out my cigarette. You are, but only with me. We actually went for fertility checkups. The doctor said she was frail and needed to build up her health. She drank bitter herbal medicine every day, her face scrunched up in disgust. Ethan, it's so bitter. Then let's not have a baby. No. Why are you so insistent? She put down the bowl, her expression serious. I want to leave something behind in this world. What? Proof that you and I loved each other. My heart stuttered. We don't need proof. We do, she insisted. What if one day you forget? I took her hand. I won't forget. Why? It hurt too much. She looked confused. What hurt? This. I pointed to my chest. You weren't very gentle when you moved in. After 3 months, the doctor gave us the green light. But then she got hesitant. Maybe we should just forget it. Why? I'm afraid the baby will be like me. What's wrong with being like you? It's too hard. Life is too hard. I held her close. Then we'll teach our kid how to find the sweetness. She looked up at me. You'll teach them. We'll teach them together. But a baby never came. We tried for half a year with no luck. The doctor said it was stress. She started getting anxious, lying awake all night. One time, I woke up to find her crying silently. What's wrong? Ethan, I don't think I can have children. Then we won't. But your parents. All they want is for me to be happy. She cried harder. I can't even do this one thing right. I turned on the light and looked at her swollen eyes. Sabrina, listen to me. I want you. Not a baby. You. Really? Cross my heart. So we got a dog instead. A golden retriever we named Maybe. Because she was always saying, maybe we'll have a kid later. The dog was attached to her at the hip, even more than he was to me. One time Maybe got sick, and she stayed up with him all night. I told her the dog would be fine. She looked at me with red-rimmed eyes and said, Ethan, I think I'm starting to understand how to love. Ow! It's being terrified of them hurting, of them being sad. It hurts more than if it were happening to you. I kissed her forehead. You've known that for a long time. When? Ever since you started worrying about whether I was hungry or cold. She pouted. That's different. It's the same. When Maybe turned 1, we took him back to my hometown. My dad loved him, chasing him around the yard. My mom pulled me aside and whispered, the light is back in that girl's eyes. That night, we slept in my old bedroom. The bed was small, so we had to be pressed up close. She whispered, Ethan, I'm a little jealous of you. Jealous of what? Your family is so wonderful. It's your family now, too. She was quiet for a moment. Can I call your parents Mom and Dad? Sure. Can Maybe's last name be Hayes? Sure. She snuggled into my chest. Ethan. Yeah. Let's just live like this forever. Okay. But forever is a long time. Long enough for things to go wrong. There was trouble at the company again, this time with the IRS. She was working nonstop, and I was worried sick. One day I came home, and Maybe was gone. We checked the security cameras and saw her dad had taken him. She broke down on the spot. He won't even leave the dog alone. We searched all night and finally found Maybe at a city animal shelter. He was terrified and trembling. She held him and just sobbed. Ethan, I can't do this anymore. I wrapped my arms around her. If you can't stand, lean on me. You'll get tired. Then I'll be tired. After that ordeal, she'd lost 10 pounds. I tried cooking all sorts of things to get her strength back. One day, she was eating and just put down her fork. Ethan, let's break up. I froze. What did you say? You're too tired. It hurts me to watch you. I put down my bowl. So you're dumping me. It's for your own good. Who asked you to do anything for my own good? Her eyes welled up. Then who else can I do anything good for? I dragged her in front of a mirror. For yourself. For Sabrina Thorne. We held each other all night. Like it was the last night before the end of the world. At dawn, she said, I'm not breaking up with you. Change your mind. Yeah, we're in this together, even if it kills us. I covered her mouth. Stop talking about dying. She bit my finger playfully. Then what should I talk about? Tell me you love me. She blinked. I'll tell you later. How much later? When you least expect it. Later, Maybe became a mother. She had a whole litter of puppies. Sabrina watched over them constantly, more attentively than she had ever watched over me. The day the first puppy was adopted, she cried her eyes out. It feels like I'm marrying off my daughter. You left to her. You're going to be a wreck when our actual daughter gets married. She suddenly froze. Ethan, what if our daughter turns out like me? Then she'll have to find someone like me. She laughed through her tears. Then it's better if she's like you. Why? It's too hard, she said, stroking a puppy's head. I wouldn't want her to go through that. The evening sun slanted through the window. She looked up at me, her eyes still red. Ethan, if you could do it all over again, would you still have saved me that night? No. Her expression fell. I continued, I would have found you sooner. How much sooner? Soon enough to save you from some of the pain. She smiled, but a tear rolled down her cheek. It's not painful anymore. Why not? Because you're here. On the day Maybe's puppies turned 1 month old, she was holding the last one, the runt nobody wanted. Let's keep him, she said. We'll call him Maybe Junior. I frowned. That's a mouthful. Then what? Thorn. Her eyes lit up. He gets my last name. Why not? She kissed the puppy, then kissed me. Ethan, is this your way of proposing? If you want it to be. But the peace didn't last. Her executive assistant suddenly quit, taking a huge client list with her. The company was in crisis. She had to mortgage the mansion. I took out all my savings, even the money I'd set aside for selling my parents' old truck. She stared at my bank statement, her hand shaking. Are you crazy? Nope. This is your parents' retirement money. They support me. She started to cry, tears splashing onto her phone screen. Ethan, how can I ever repay you? I wiped her tears away. With the rest of your life. During the hardest times, we couldn't even afford to order takeout. I cooked at home, and she learned how to make soup. One time she mixed up the salt and sugar, and the soup was inevitably bitter. She was so frustrated she was about to pour it out. I drank the whole pot. Don't waste it. She looked at me, her eyes wet. Is it good? It tastes like love. What does that taste like? Salty and bitter, but you still want more. The turning point came from an old client. He'd seen an interview we did years ago and was moved by our story. He offered us a 3-year contract out of the blue. The cash flow problem was solved. The company survived. We didn't go to the celebration party. We stayed home and cooked instant ramen with sliced hot dogs. She took a bite of my hot dog and said, Ethan, let's get married. I paused. Again. I'm serious this time. Where's the ring? She pulled a soda can out of her pocket. A placeholder. I slipped it on her finger. The interest on this is going to be insane. The day we actually went to get the license, she got cold feet. She paced back and forth in front of City Hall. Maybe we should just forget it. Whatever you want. She stopped walking. You're not going to try and convince me. You need to be sure. She looked at the paperwork in her hand and suddenly smiled. Ethan, I don't think I need this piece of paper anymore. Why not? Because you've been in my heart for a long time. Since when? Since the moment you said you'd support me. But we got the license anyway. Because Maybe needed a dog license. And when the clerk at the county office asked for our relationship status, she said spouse. The clerk was very confused. In our photo, she's smiling so brightly, and I look completely exasperated. After we left, she said, Ethan, you look like you were forced into this. Wasn't I? Regretting it. I pulled her close by the waist. Only that I didn't force you sooner. We didn't have a wedding, just a party with a few friends. She got drunk and wouldn't let go of the microphone. I'm going to sing a song for Ethan. She sang Can't Help Falling in Love. It was painfully off-key. My sister whispered to me, Dude, her singing could kill someone. I smiled. I'd die for her. After the party, she was draped over my back, mumbling, Ethan, I'm so happy it's scary. Scared of what? That I'll wake up, and this will all be a dream. I pinched her cheek. Hurt? Yeah. Then it's not a dream. 3 years into our marriage, she got pregnant. It was a complete surprise. The doctor called it a miracle. She held the test results and cried for a whole afternoon. What do I do? I still don't know how to be a mother. I don't know how to be a father. So what do we do? We'll figure it out. She touched her stomach, her gaze softening. Ethan, this time, I'll be normal. I kissed her forehead. You're perfect, just the way you are. The morning sickness was brutal. She lost so much weight, she looked like a ghost. But she insisted on cooking, saying she wanted to be a good wife. She blew up the microwave twice. I banned her from the kitchen. She looked at me with puppy dog eyes. Then what am I supposed to do? Just be you. And who am I? Sabrina Thorne. Ethan Hayes' wife. Maybe's mom. And soon-to-be mom. She smiled. That's a lot of titles. The day she went into labor, there were complications. The doctor asked me to choose, mother or child. I signed the papers to save her. She must have heard from inside the operating room, because she started shaking her head frantically. A nurse came out. Mrs. Hayes is insisting on the baby. My eyes were burning. You listen to me. In the end, mother and son were both safe. When she woke up and saw the baby, her first words to me were, "Ethan, you are a son of a bitch." I kissed her hand. "Yeah, I am." We named our son Caleb. Faithful, hoping for a life of peace and loyalty. She held him to nurse, her posture awkward but her focus absolute. One time he choked on some milk, and she started crying in panic. I calmed the baby down, then had to calm her down. She sobbed, "I'm so useless." "Who says? I can't even feed him right." I looked at her. "You being alive is more than enough." When Caleb was 1, he said "mama" for the first time. She froze, then just started crying. After she composed herself, she called me. "Ethan," he called me mama. "I know, I love him so much. I know, but I love you too. I know that too." When Caleb was 3, he asked why mommy was always looking at daddy. She said, "Because daddy's handsome." Caleb said, "I'm handsome too." She gave him a kiss. "But someday you'll have to go look at someone else." That night, she couldn't sleep. "Ethan, do you think our son will resent me someday?" "For what?" "For loving you so much that it took away from the love I should have given him." I pulled her closer. Love isn't divided. It's multiplied. The year Caleb turned 5, her father passed away. He'd swallowed a toothbrush in the psychiatric hospital. She didn't cry. She just held his ashes for a long, long time. She only shed tears at the burial. He never once said he loved me. I held a black umbrella over her. He did. Every time he yelled at me. She stared. Then a small smile broke through. "Ethan, you're really something else." The company grew bigger, and she got busier. One night, she had a work dinner that went late. I took Caleb to pick her up. A client was pushing her to drink, and she was reluctantly obliging. Caleb suddenly ran over and hugged her leg. "Don't bully my mommy." The whole room went silent. She bent down and picked him up. "Nobody's bullying mommy." Caleb pointed at the client. "He made you drink that. You didn't look happy." The client was mortified. After that, the story went around town. Sabrina Thorne had a tiny bodyguard. When Caleb was 7 and started school, she was a wreck. What if he gets bullied? He'll fight back like you. What if he doesn't have any friends? He'll be fiercely independent, like you. What if? I covered her mouth. "Sabrina, let the kid be himself." She blinked. "You mean, not normal like me?" "I mean special like you." Adolescence came earlier than expected. Caleb started getting rebellious and arguing with her. One time, it got heated, and she threw a glass. "You don't understand me at all." Caleb yelled back. "And you don't understand me. All you understand is Dad." She froze. That night, she sat outside his bedroom door. "Ethan, am I a failure? You're a normal parent. What do I do?" "Wait. For what?" "For him to realize how amazing you are, just like I did." Caleb majored in psychology in college. She asked him, "Are you trying to analyze your mother?" Caleb laughed. "No, I'm trying to cure Dad's Stockholm Syndrome." I raised an eyebrow. "What syndrome?" "The one that made you put up with Mom for all these years." She was laughing so hard she couldn't stand up straight. Later that night, she asked me, "Ethan, do you really think you're a victim?" "No, I'm a beneficiary." "Of what?" "Of you." The day Caleb brought his girlfriend home, Sabrina was so nervous she changed outfits 10 times. The girl was sweet and quiet and called her Mrs. Hayes. Sabrina had a huge reaction. "Call me Sabrina." The poor girl was bewildered. I stepped in. "Just call her Sabrina." Later, the girlfriend said, "Sabrina is so much fun." Caleb sighed. "She's been fun for 30 years. My dad is a saint." Sabrina glared at him. Too late for returns. We got a third dog and named her Annie. One day, Sabrina tripped while walking her and broke her wrist. She lay in bed, fuming. "I'm old. Useless." I fed her soup. "Very useful. You've used me up quite nicely." She smiled and sighed. "Ethan, do you think I'll die before you?" "No. Why not?" "I wouldn't let you." The day the doctors found a problem with her heart, I smoked a whole pack of cigarettes. She, on the other hand, was calm. Payback. For living too hard when I was young. I gripped her hand. "We'll do whatever it takes. It'll cost a lot of money." "I have it." "Where did you get it?" "I saved it. For you." 72 the night before her surgery, she was writing her will. She'd write a line, then ask me a question. "The company goes to Caleb, if you want. The house goes to the dogs, if you want. Who do you go to?" "To you." She put down the pen. "Well, I guess I can't die then. I still have to manage you." The surgery was a success. When she woke up and saw me, her first words were, "Ethan, I dreamed you left me." Dreams are the opposite of reality. Really? Really? She gave a weak smile. Then how long will you keep me? Until you don't want me anymore. Then you'll be waiting a very long time. During her recovery, she took up piano. She played haltingly. Caleb couldn't stand it. "Mom, please have mercy on the piano." She glared at him. "I'm playing for your father." I sat next to her, nodding. "It sounds beautiful." Caleb looked at me, baffled. "What part sounds beautiful?" "The intention." On her 50th birthday, she got drunk. She pulled me onto the dance floor, stepping on my feet over and over. "Ethan, I've been with you for half my life." "Yep, I got a bad deal. It's not too late to return me." She leaned her head on my shoulder. "No returns. I'll make do." During menopause, her temper got even worse. One time, she broke one of my prize model kits. Then she burst into tears. "I can't control it." I started picking up the pieces. "It's okay. Break them. I'll buy you new ones to break." She cried even harder. "Why are you so good to me?" "Because you're worth it." The day Caleb got married, she was a mess of tears. Her new daughter-in-law handed her a tissue. "Sabrina, your makeup is running." She sniffled. "Call me Mom." The girl obediently switched. Sabrina turned to me. "Ethan, I'm a mother-in-law." I put my arm around her. "Yep, the most beautiful one." When her grandson was born, she insisted on taking care of him. I said we should hire a nanny, but she refused. "I owe Caleb for my failings. I'll make it up to his son." After 3 days, her back gave out. She lay in bed, directing me on how to mix the formula. "Ethan, I think I still don't know how to love people." "What do you mean?" "I love them so hard I break myself." I helped her sit up to take her medicine. That's exactly what love is. On our golden anniversary, we went back to the street where we first met. It was a bustling commercial district now. I couldn't recognize anything. She pointed to a corner, relying on memory. "It was right there. You were on a beat-up electric scooter." "Yep." "Wearing a blue DoorDash jacket." "Yep." "You had a pimple on your chin." "You remember that?" She smiled. "I remember everything." Her grandson, in his teens, was the spitting image of her at that age. He got into a fight at school, and she had to go pick him up. She came home beaming. "He's just like me. I had a headache. One of you is more than enough." She glared. "You got a problem with that?" "Nope, not at all." The day she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, she was eerily calm. "Finally, I get to forget." I gripped her hand tightly. "You're not allowed to forget. Then you'll have to remind me every day." From then on, the first thing I did every morning was lean over and say, "Sabrina, I'm Ethan, your husband." She would smile. "I know, you pest." The first thing she forgot was our anniversary. The second was Caleb's birthday. The third was how to get home. But she never forgot me. One time she wandered off, and the police found her at her old office building. She told them she was waiting for Ethan to get off work. When I rushed over, her eyes lit up. "There you are. Let's go home and have dinner." As the disease progressed, she started getting people mixed up. She'd call her nurse Ethan. I'd answer from across the room, and she'd turn and look at me. "Who are you?" "I'm Ethan." Liar. He's much younger. I took out our wedding photo. "Look, isn't that me?" She stared at it for a long time. "You got old and ugly." In the final stages, she only remembered fragments. Sometimes it was the rain on the night we met. Sometimes it was me giving her medicine. Sometimes it was her son saying mama for the first time. But through it all, she never let go of my hand. Even the doctors were amazed. "She remembers your touch." She passed away quietly, like she'd just fallen asleep. Her hand was still clutching my sleeve. Caleb was crying so hard he could barely stand. I leaned down and kissed her forehead. "You're home, Sabrina." While going through her things, I found a journal. The last page said, "If I could do it all over again, I would still want to meet Ethan. But next time, I want to be the one to love him first." So many people came to the funeral. I didn't see any of them. All I could think was that she always loved white roses. Caleb said, "Dad, it's okay to cry." I shook my head. She never liked it when I cried. I brought her ashes home and placed them on the nightstand. I talked to her every day. "The sun's out today. Maybe tore up the sofa again." Caleb got a promotion. "I miss you." My grandson brought his girlfriend home. The girl had her eyes. I stared for a moment too long. My grandson whispered, "She looks like Grandma. Doesn't she, Grandpa?" I nodded. "She does." In the last moments of my life, I heard her voice. Ethan, you're here. I smiled. Yeah, I came to marry you. You'd better have a ring this time. Eat dough. Where is it? In my heart.